হ্যাঁ, এখন আমরা লাইভে চলে গিয়েছি।
So, ladies and gentlemen, good evening to all of you, those who are watching. As you know, this Saudha Facebook live concert series is promoting world-class music just to forget what's happening outside. And we are on with great music, great poetry, and other global art forms for the last 3 weeks now. Today, we have a wonderful sitarist, an emerging maestro of instrumental music in global scene, Sri Ramprapanna Bhattacharya has joined from Kolkata. Many thanks for joining Ramprapanna as part of this concert and talk series. And let me also introduce our other panelist. So our regular panelist, Shahin Mitul, as you all know, part and parcel of this talk and concert series. She's a spoken word artist and also an organizer. Shahin Mitul, many thanks for joining.
Thank you. Welcome everyone. Good afternoon.
And also Jasmine Chaudhary, mainly a political campaigner, political activist, and also the part of the whole plan, one of the coordinators of the whole plan. Jasmine Chaudhary, many thanks for joining.
Thank you, Kaisarbai, and a warm welcome to Ramprapanna and everybody else on the panel.
I also would like to introduce one of the great firm supporters of Saudha's activities. She's mainly a historian, associate professor of Exeter University, Dr. Nandini Chatterjee. Many thanks for joining.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a wonderful endeavor.
Thank you. Thank you. And also, I also would like to invite our regular panelist, one of the finest semi-classical vocalists here in UK and founder of a musical organization in the North, Pratibha, Srimati Shumona Mullik Bosho. Many thanks for joining, Shumona.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much, Kaishar Bhai and Saudha, for continuing support and help and for the society, for every one of us. Thank you.
You're welcome. I also would like to say a bit on Ramprapanna before we move on to your music. Best thing I think,
sure,
audiences who are watching are looking forward to listen from you first.
Yeah, I would like to thank Saudha Arts and Kaishar Bhai for inviting me to present my sitar recital and also discuss the aspects of music. I am really privileged to be part of this special evening today. Thank you very much to all of you.
So those who follow Ramprapanna's music, he's, like I told you before, he's an emerging maestro of sitar, appearing in global scene. His extraordinary recital of sitar captivates audiences, and I mean mainly technical audiences, and many maestros, many music-loving, music connoisseurs already. Apart from playing sitar, he also teaches sitar to the younger generation, and writes on music. That is very, I actually love this part. Wherever he goes, whatever he witnesses, he writes, and he writes so beautifully, so musically. So Ramprapanna Bhattacharya actually initiated his learning from his father, Sri Ram Udar Bhattacharya. And then also he learned from one of the prime disciples of Amir Khanji and Vilayat Khanji, Pandit Kashinath Mukherjee. He then learned intricacies of sitar from one of the living legend now, Arvind Parikhji. So let us perhaps listen a bit of playing, bit of your presentation, and then we will talk. I guess you are playing Hamir this evening. Starting with
Yes,
Hamir.
I will. Yeah, starting with Raag Hamir, which is raga based on Kalyan Thaat. All musicians know, and very beautiful rag. I will try to justice to the rag. So I will start with Hamir. Thank you.
Wow, great.
Is the sound properly audible to everyone?
Yeah. So those who are watching, just a request. Those who are watching this session is available in my Facebook Live actually. So if we kindly share it and let others have the opportunity. So it is available in my profile page and also available in Saudha's profile page, Radharaman Society's page, Saudha Ghazal and Thumri Kheyal Festivals page, Saudha Bangla Music Festivals page too. So let's listen and please share. Please, if you have any comment, if you would like to share anything, please do. We will come back. So let us get immersed into the beauty of Raag Hamir now. Thank you.
From
Thank
the
you.
Little Giddings.
So this was a brief presentation of Raag Hamir, which is one of the very favorite Raag of mine. I hope the audio was fine. Was it too loud or?
We are all speechless, Ramprapanna.
Oh,
It
thank
was
you so
perfect.
much. Thank you.
Thank you
By
very
the way,
much.
thank you. By the way, Sumanadi, it is very good to see you after a long time.
Good to see you.
I am
too,
remembering.
Ramprapanna.
I am remembering my days in Leeds.
Exactly.
Particularly
You
the
left
Durga Puja
us.
time.
I know you left us long time before, but still we feel that you are still in Leeds.
Oh, thank you so much. It is the power of music.
Exactly.
We all are connected through music. Yes.
Katsubai, you're on mute, I think.
Like Shumona said, you made all of us speechless.
Thank you. Thank you.
And what a good start with Raag Hamir. So many thanks for this beautiful recital. We have another panel member, a poet and a journalist and a friend of us, a very good friend of us, Sarwari Alam, has joined now. Many thanks, everybody, for joining.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
And let us move on to a bit of poetry. After this recital, any word seems very irrelevant. So let's have a bit of words, bit of verses, poetic verses, and then we'll come back to you. Thank you.
Sure.
Some verses from Little Gidding, T.S. Eliot. We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time through the unknown, unremembered gate, when the last of the earth left to discover is that which was the beginning. At the source of the longest river, the voice of the hidden waterfall, and the children in the apple tree, not known because not looked for, but heard, half heard, in the stillness, between two waves of the sea, quick now, here, now, always, a condition of complete simplicity, costing not less than everything, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well, when the tongue of flame are enfolded into the crown not of fire, and the fire and the rose are one. Yeah.
Thank you, Jasmine. Many thanks again for this very good inception, such a spiritual inception with Raag Hamir. And I'm sure those who are watching, you find this music absolutely redemptive, absolutely spiritual. And also I'm requesting everyone, if you kindly, this is a kind of a rare opportunity for us to let the others know, to let the others being immersed in something which is very meaningful, and I mean, something that we can focus on while we are staying at home. So please share. This is available in my Facebook, my personal Facebook page, Saudha's Facebook page, Ghazal Thumri and Kheyal Festival page, Bangla Music Festival page, and Brother Rahman Society's page. Just I'm asking, have we everyone managed to share? And that's available. Survey. Did you find it? Did you find it okay? Did you find the link okay? Can't hear you.
Sarvar Bhai, you are on mute.
Yeah, sorry. I haven't checked yet. Sorry, I'm going to check and share it quickly.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
I'll do that. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. And let us move on to a bit of question that I always have.
Sure.
Could you kindly say a bit more about your learning, Ramprapanna? I know that you started music from your father. What a great starting if you have someone like your father at home. And then you ended up learning from a living legend of Sitar, Arvind Parikji. So you are from Emdadkhani Gharana, that's what you know. And that's what you know from your playing as well. You have very, very characteristically remarkable kind of playing that you can, that is related to your Gharana. So is it possible to tell us a bit more on your teachers, on your gurus?
Absolutely, Kashif bhai. I will mention on my gurus, and particularly if you have your teacher at home, what kind of advantages one can have. That is really amazing. If a student comes to the teacher once a week or twice a month or once a month, whatever frequency, the teacher explains the nuances and explains the details of a rag or technical aspects of music, and probably the student writes it down on a notebook or records nowadays and goes back home and practices. And in case there is a little mistake in understanding or some gap in understanding, then the student does the mistake for 1 week till he reaches the guru again, right? And then his guru realizes, okay, there is a gap in understanding, or there's some communication gap. Then he again has to redo the things again. So that is quite quite a pain for both guru and the student, particularly in the initial days. Once the student gets more idea and gets more used to with these things, then this thing does not happen. So initial days, if you have your teacher in your home, it is absolute privilege and blessings. So I was fortunate to have that. I will give you a little more background. I will go a few generations back. We are basically from West Bengal, a place called Bhattacharya near Noihati, and our family is culturally and spiritually inclined, even though the mainstream academics and career has been given its due importance always. My great grandfather, late Ramendu Bhattacharya, this is also a specialty in our family. The name starts with Ram for all our male members. Right. So late Ramendu Bhattacharya, he used to play clarinet and sarangi with dexterity. My grandfather translated. He was a poet. My grandfather was a poet. Mainly, his work was on the spiritual aspects. He translated all the classic works of Goswami Tulsidas ji, including Ramcharitmanas, Vinay Patrika, Dohavali, Kavitavali. All those works he translated into Bengali, and we have all the manuscripts with us. My grandmother used to play sitar, like it was her hobby in her childhood. And my father learned from very famous maestros of that era, starting from Ustad Ali Ahmed Khan. He was brother-in-law of Ustad Alauddin Khan Sahab of Maihar. So I have had the privilege of having lessons, talim, and the music of different gharanas. Like he learned from Ali Ahmed Khan Sahab, who was brother-in-law of Alauddin Khan Sahab and Mama of Ali Akbar Khan Sahab, right? And he then, after his passing, he learned from Ustad Mustaq Ali Khan. He was a great sitar maestro of Senia Gharana. Then he learned from Pandit Gokul Nag of Bishnupur Gharana. Pandit Gokul Nag is father of sitar maestro Pandit Manilal Nag. And finally, he learned from Indranil Bhattacharya. Pandit Indranil Bhattacharya, he was also disciple of Ustad Alauddin Khan. And my father was a big fan and admirer of music of Pandit Nikhil Banerjee. So he approached Panditji also, Pandit Nikhil Banerjee, for teaching. But that time Panditji was, busy in tours and concerts. So he was a very honest person, and he told it would be injustice if I start teaching you at this point of time, because your learning will not be proper. Better you go to another very good sitarist, Pandit Indranil Bhattacharya, who learned from Alauddin Khan Sahab. So this vast learning of my father helped me a lot in terms of having the technical grip on sitar. So after his office hours, he used to come every evening and used to supervise my practice every day, every evening for minimum 1.5 hours, 2 hours, from 8 to 10. It was regular riyaz time for me. And then I started learning from Pandit Kashinath Mukherjee because I was much inclined to Ustad Vilayat Khan's music once I listened to his recordings later. And my father was also very great admirer of him. He wanted to learn in that particular style, but unfortunately that time in Calcutta there was no guru in that particular style. So he did not get the opportunity to learn, but he ensured that I learned it from Pandit Kashinath Mukherjee, and I learned from 1997 to 2011 till Panditji's demise. And till then I moved to Pune. In the meantime, like in 2005, I moved to Pune from Calcutta, and with his permission, with Pandit Kashinath Mukherjee's permission, and with my father's encouragement, I started learning from Pandit Arvind Parikh, and which is still continuing.
Many thanks. Many thanks. So you have a bit of both actually, from Emdadkhani Gharana, Vilayat Khanji's Gharana, and also from Maihar Gharana as well, because your father seemingly was quite inclined to.
Yeah, particularly the technical aspects. I learned many, ouchers, many practices, and the technical aspects. One day I was watching Ustad Ali Akbar Khan's son, Alam, was doing a Facebook Live on the technical aspects. He was teaching the basics of Saudha for the beginners, for the initiators. And I saw whatever he's saying, I have learned all those things from my father already, all the tricks and techniques. So, yeah.
Thank you. Can we have a bit of poetry again? I'm so delighted that Nandini Chatterjee, an acclaimed academician who is always in support of promotion of good art and global music, global art. And then quite coincidentally, I just realized that she had the similar attraction towards Persian literature, Persian arts, although her approach is from completely historian's point of view, but still from artistic and emotional point of view, perhaps the thread coincided quite well.
Interestingly, our Hindustani classical music in particular has been highly influenced by Persian culture and Persian music. And this sitar, the current form, it is kind of a happy synthesis of Indian veena, which was there before, and it was enhanced and amended based on the Persian setar. It was called setar.
True. If Nandini kindly add on Ramprapanna's recital, and also if you kindly read something from any Persian poet of your choice.
Sure, you always praise me beyond my abilities, Kaiser bhai. So I feel like a complete imposter, because actually, unlike everybody else in the group, I have no special skills. I only have a love for the music. But there is one idea actually that came to me. I will read a very short poetry, but before that, there is an idea that I have come across recently, and I wanted to put it in front of musicians because I'm looking for an answer. So there is a concept, as you know, in yoga about anahata, the anahata nad. So as you know, anahata, it also corresponds to one of the purported chakras of our body, the one that corresponds with the heart, but that also corresponds, I think, with pa, the swar pa, but it is also supposed to be like the music which is produced, or the sound really, it's a kind of a divine sound that is produced without a physical cause. And that is why it is divine. And I'm coming across this concept of anahato, alternatively, and it is referred to in yogic traditions, but it is also referred to, actually I'm finding, in a number of Sufi texts. And I found it in Fariduddin Attar's Conference of Bards.
Beautiful.
But it is also actually there in Rumi. And of course, Rumi, as you all know, is the 12th century poet who was actually born in Balkh, which is in present-day Afghanistan. And he ended his life in present-day Turkey, which was known as Rum in those days. That's why Rumi. Rumi has been widely translated, of course, and one problem with Rumi, from whom I'll read just 2 lines, is that many lines are attributed to Rumi, but they're not actually often Rumi. So this is often a problem, but it's a beautiful line. And it has this idea of the anahata sound, or the unstruck sound. And I will just read these 2 lines, and any idea maybe that can come out, what is this idea in Sufism? So Rumi says, listen to the unstruck sounds and what sifts through that music. What is this supposed to mean? Listen to the unstruck sounds, the sounds that are not struck. But it is also music, and what sifts through that music. It is, I think, a reference to a kind of idea of anahata. I wonder what musicians think of this.
To me, I think that is somehow connected to Onahutanad. What would you think, Ramprapanna?
When we chant Om, you see it is coming from inside. So it is unstruck, like it is coming from inside, and it is directly connected to some divinity. So it is, as it is said, like the music, sometimes we think as entertainment, something we think it about pleasure, sometimes we think it as art form. It is like when the blind goes to experience elephant. Someone thinks like a pillar, someone thinks like a rope, someone thinks like a something else. But it is music, and different people have different perspective about it. But it becomes in its purest form when you sing, or for a musician, if you think you are playing for him and he is playing through you. So it goes beyond any entertainment, it goes beyond any kind of listening pleasure. It becomes meditation. And then in classical music there is a term called tasir. Like if you tasir,
Yeah.
T-A-S-E-R. But like when you listen to someone, many musicians, when you are listening to many musicians, sometimes you get astonished how they are playing with perfection, with clarity, speed. Some musicians, take you to a different world. So your feelings are different. But in some cases, when a particular note is applied, then you are in trance. You forget where you are, who you are, and who is playing, and the time stands still.
True.
So
True.
that, I think that is the concept of Anahatanad. It is timelessness of music.
If Kaisar Bhai gives me 1 more minute, I have a very short
please,
addition
please. Yeah,
to
yeah.
this. It's such a beautiful exposition that Ramprapanna made, so I found another one. So Rumi says here, we have fallen into the place where everything is music. The
Wow.
strumming and the flute notes rise into the atmosphere. And even if the whole world's harp should burn up, there will still be hidden instruments playing.
How beautiful is this? How beautiful is this?
Kashyap
Many,
bhai,
many thanks.
Can I add a small?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. Sometimes you will feel like once you come back from a concert, unfortunately this used to happen in yesteryears. Nowadays this quality of music is little rare. When we used to come back after a concert of artists like Ustad Vilayat Khan or Ustad Ali Akbar Khan of that stature, I think my parents or the previous generations had fortune to listen to other great ustads as well. But particularly for these two maestros, what I have seen, one expression they're playing, it is big auditorium, almost 2,000 audience are there. In one mead, in one stroke, everyone is responding in the same way. You can please one person at a time because of their taste or because of their upbringing or culture, but it is something different that you are actually everyone is responding in the same way. It is a kind of wave comes kind of, right? And
True.
when we used to come back from the concert and we used to hum that particular bandish or a particular movement for days, for weeks, and it used to stay for even weeks, right? So that kind of magical moments are unfortunately rare these days. I think it can be also connected with the concept of Anahatanad, because nothing is being played or sung at that particular time, but you are carrying that music with you in home and you are into that aroma for that long period.
Exactly. Shumona would like to add something.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Yeah, following your reference, Nandini and Ramprapanna, about the note pa, unstruck note. I think, in my opinion, that unstruck note strikes silently in our, the heart, chord of our heart. That's what you just said, Ramprapanna. Only a singer and a performer can feel that note, because very silently it's striking the chord of our heart, isn't it? What do you think?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
True.
Yes.
Thank you. Ramprapanna, we want to listen something more. If we can have something, perhaps, what would you think about Hamad? Perhaps we can have a bit of recital from Hamad and then we'll listen what our audiences are saying after this. So let's move on to Raag Hamad.
I will just take a couple of minutes to tune the sitar.
Very good. In the meantime, can we have a bit of poetry now, while you are tuning?
Yeah, I will just put on mute and I'll come back.
Okay, that's fine. Sarvai, can we listen some hunting verses from you? I can't listen. I can't hear you.
Sorry.
Perhaps,
Do you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was greatly enjoying the conversation on music, and very nicely said. Really, it really takes us away from the this whole sufferings and pain, everything. And I'm a great fan of Sitar, and very nice to see such a great musician here today. What do I have here at the moment? I do have a poem from Rabindranath Tagore. I can probably try to read this one. অন্তর মম বিকশিত করো, অন্তরতর হে, নির্মল করো, উজ্জ্বল করো, সুন্দর করো হে, জাগ্রত করো, উদ্যত করো, নির্ভয় করো হে, মঙ্গল করো, নিরলস করো, নিঃসংশয় করো হে, অন্তর মম বিকশিত করো, অন্তরতর হে। যুক্ত করো হে সবার সঙ্গে, মুক্ত করো হে বন্ধ, সঞ্চার করো সকল মর্মে, শান্ত তোমার ছন্দ। চরণ পদ্মে মম চিত নিস্পন্দিত করো হে, নন্দিত করো, নন্দিত করো, নন্দিত করো হে। অন্তর মম বিকশিত করো, অন্তরতর হে। অনেক ধন্যবাদ সবাইকে। So one of the really great poem of Rabindranath Tagore, and the message is so beautiful. Antor mama bikoshito koro antortor he. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Let's move on to music.
Sure. So am I audible now?
Yeah. But we have perhaps one complaint from a friend, Nishat Afza, who was saying that the last recital couldn't be heard properly. So I was thinking whether if we can have your device a bit closer.
Sure.
So
Okay.
if we, just to make it as louder as possible, so that.
Right. So what I'll do is I'll disconnect the earphone from the phone, and if you could just give me a thumbs up if you can hear it properly. Maybe it is because of the earphone. And when I speak,
Sure.
I will put the earphone again.
Thank you. Thank you. क्या बात क्या बात Shabash.
I'm playing a small composition of Ustad Anayat Khan Sahab, which is in fast, very fast composition.
Outstanding, truly. What I would say, really, I mean, such a great performance, and it is late afternoon in London, and the quality of sound was really, really great today. I'm not sure what about for others, but I'm really, really greatly enjoying. Thank you so much, so much, really.
Thank you, Sarbai. I am suffering from a bit of speechless syndrome. So let us perhaps include Nandini Chatterjee, if you kindly share your own experience about this beautiful spiritual recital. Then we'll perhaps go to audiences, how audiences are taking on this feeling about this. So let us have Nandini Chatterjee. If you come up with any verses, again from Persian background, you
Sure.
can.
Like everyone else, I was completely immersed in this. So the image that was coming in my mind was that of the ocean or sea. And I am admitting that at the same time, I'm also looking for poetry. And actually, I'm finding right now that reading poetry is becoming easier as I'm listening to this music. It is as if the music is explaining the poetry for me. So one very favorite website of mine is rekta.org, which for those of you who enjoy Urdu poetry, but also Persian poetry, it is an absolutely wonderful endeavor. Rekta is the old name of Urdu. And actually, that was the name it was used in the 18th century. So it has like poetry all the way back to Amir Khusro. But for now, I found a couplet again from the most famous poet of Urdu ever, Mirza Ghalib, which I will read for you, which I think relates to our notion of this eternal music and the beautiful music that Ramprapanna just gifted to us, which is like a sea. So it is quite a difficult poem. So I will read it. I don't actually do in the style of proper Urdu recitation, but in this case I will go a bit slow because it's hard. So dil e har katra hai saaz e anal e bahar. Dil e har katra. That means katra is drop. So the heart of every drop hai saaz e anal e bahar is the instrument of he who is the sea. I will come back to Anal Bahar for a moment. So the heart of every drop is the musical instrument saz of he who is the sea. Hum uske hain, hamara puchna kya. We are his or hers, because of course God does not have gender. And what more can be said of us? Maybe I can repeat these two lines because the explanation kind of disrupts the flow, but it's just two lines. And again, Ghalib, as you know, Dil har katra hai, saaz e anal bahar, hum uske hain, hamara puchna kya. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nandini. So we are trying to come back to the real world for a bit, and then we'll be transcended again to the world that Ramprapanna is taking all of us to. Let us have some feedback from the audiences. Could Mitra Jasmine be able to read feedback from the audiences?
Those who are watching are completely overwhelmed and mesmerized. We have Kamalveer Singh Ji. He said, Ramprapanna Ji, you have one of the most bold, accurate, and fullest of men's I have heard after Nick Hilda.
Oh my God. Thank you very much.
Then Devbani Ghosh, really looking forward to today's Sitar concert. Rupa Nandi, bah, kya baat, khub bhalo program hocche. Then Shourojyoti Basu, just too good. Ramprapanna এর জন্য রইল অনেক শুভেচ্ছা আমাদের সকলেরই খুব প্রিয়. Miss him in Leeds.
Thank you. Saudha.
সঞ্জয় দে, আহা মন ভরে যাচ্ছে এরকম নিবিষ্ট সেতার বাদন বারবার শোনার জন্য ব্যাকুল হয়ে ওঠে মন.
Mithil, I just missed your first feedback. Who was that?
Kamalveer Singh Ji. Kamalveer Singh Ji, the first one.
Kamalveer Singh Ji. Many thanks, Kamalveer Singh Ji, again for your great support for Saudha, and many thanks for listening this. And then many thanks, Saudha, for watching. This is, I'm sure you are feeling the same as we are. So, ladies and gentlemen, those who are watching, please share. That is my request. Please share and let the others have the opportunity to listen such a spiritual, such a transcendental music. So, Ramprapanna, I'm just coming back to you with a
Sure.
question. While I was listening to you, I felt, I'm not sure whether you felt, I read an interview of Yehudi Menuhin, and the great Yehudi Menuhin, who explored our and who promoted our Hindustani classical music in the West so beautifully, so meaningfully, and who was a great fan of Hindustani classical music. So he was, I mean, while he was playing, he used to close his eyes down, and then someone just asked, do you focus on anything when you play? And if you focus on something, what is this? And he answered that every musician is almost is kind of a painter. So they like to paint something that perhaps when I play, I try to paint a face. I try to paint a face, or sometime, but you know, through my whole life actually, I tried in different renditions, in different genres of music that he tried with, but through everything, he tried perhaps to paint a face. So this is very poetic statement from a musician. When you play, do you focus on something like this? Any beautiful face that you focus on, or any beautiful scenario, or any beautiful things that you would like to paint, which can't be defined or expressed in language?
Absolutely, Dada. So it, as you mentioned, these feelings vary from musician to musician. For me, I have not thought in this perspective before, but if you want me to articulate, I will try. First, when we tune the sitar, we have a kind of uncertainty in mind. I think for every musician, particularly for classical musician, because it is so vast and so much of possibilities and a lot of risks in it. We can just pull the mean, but whether the mean will reach to the proper note or not, it is not in our hand. So somewhat we are some kind of, I should not say fear, but we are a little bit skeptical, and we pray, we consider the rags and raginis as the deities. We pray to the ragas that I am trying to do the abahan to you. In puja we do abahan.
Exactly.
So yeah, so we are trying to do. So please accept my invitation, and please be with me during the performance. So this kind of I think feeling is there at this beginning, and even when we start alap, and gradually from the worldly things, with the mundane world, we go into kind of ethereal world where it does not matter who is listening, who is sitting, whether we are having live or not. So we go into a different world, and once we mingle with that spirit, then only other people, then only the artist starts enjoying, because his prayer has been granted by the raga, right? The deity of the raga. The raga then comes, and you start, then you get the confidence, and then you start the conversation with him with utter humbleness and politeness. And the deity is so graceful, he or she comes to you, and he or she also starts responding to your prayers. You can call it love, you can call it affection, shraddha, you can call it respect, whatever you can call it. So those are depends on the feelings, and gradually it goes into the crescendo part. It goes faster and faster, the dialogues are rapid, and at certain point the deity says, it is enough for today, and I need to be ready. So then we do handshake, and the deity goes away, and we do the charan spurts. So that is kind of feeling. And then when we keep the sitar down, then we are again back to the mundane world, and we can start humanly conversations and all. So this is a kind of feeling
Wow.
which I have not thought before, but
Wow,
it just came into my mind.
something very new that I learned. I obviously, like you said, every musician has their own way of focusing things. Perhaps some musicians like to paint something, they see a face, or they see something transcendent, they see something unexpressible, undefinable. And for you, this is quite a enigma, a big enigma, is a profound enigma. You you try to invite the face of Raga as a deity. And
Right.
once
And
becomes such a devotional journey, such a devotional journey. That's why perhaps Indian classical music is so devotional. When it, I mean, one word, if you'd like to wrap Indian classical music with, that is devotion. That is devotion. And how beautifully you described. Sorry, I perhaps
3Ds.
interrupted you.
No. You perfectly mentioned this. Actually, 3Ds: devotion, dedication, and discipline.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great.
So these three things actually define the Indian classical music. And as Manmohanji mentioned, like painting with air. I heard someone saying, painters paint with their paintbrush and they have canvas. Our canvas is the silence, and our colors are the notes, the 12 notes. Those are the
Wow.
colors. And the instrument, or even the vocal cord, is also an instrument, God gifted instrument. So that is our paintbrush. That is the medium by which we do the painting. Yes. So we have the 12 colors, the 12 notes, and silence is the canvas.
So I would like to say, truly, it's an absolute pleasure, really, because I know we listen to music, but we don't know such detail, really, all notes and what does it represent. And thank you for just helping us to know all things, really. Thank you.
One little thing that uh, I always say when I try to talk about music, my favorite composer and philosopher, a French philosopher, Claude Debussy, who described the experience of music in completely different way, like all post-structural philosophers and writers did. Perhaps Nandini and others who are watching are into those who follow literature theory. They perhaps can remember some post-structuralist philosopher always used to say that literature or poetry is something in between two words, the silence between two words. And that's exactly what Claude Debussy said. Music is something in between two notes, a silence between two notes. And perhaps when you listen to classical music, we see the effort of creating that intense silence, such a great effort to, I mean, that's why perhaps when you play something, we feel an absolute silence, and any word we say seems quite irrelevant in our ears. So let us perhaps listen, read a bit from audience feedback, and we would like to move on to your music again, Ramprapanna. So if you kindly play Coffee could easily intrigue and entertain all of our audiences, I hope. So that is what audiences are saying. Is sound okay? Is music being heard by all equally?
Yes, the sound, good feedback about sound. Sandeep Sharma, possibly a student of Ramprapanna, said, Pranam Gurudev.
Yeah.
And then we have Sangit channel watching from Nepal. He said, thanks for bringing happiness. Jahangir Noman.
Many thanks. Listening from Nepal. Wow, such. Jahangir
Jahangir
Noman.
Noman, this live concert series has become a part of quarantine life.
Many thanks, Jahangir. Jahangir is a Sastian a wonderful admirer of art and music. Many thanks for watching. Please share. Those who are watching, please share. Let others have the opportunity. Anything
Then we
else to
have
add?
Shupriti
Add-on?
Chaudhary, lovely to
April?
see you, Ramda. Shupriti Chaudhary, lovely to see you, Ramda. Best wishes for you and your family. We have Ahmed Roni.
So
He said,
many thanks.
Ashadharan Mohonia performance. We have Shujit Chaudhary, Amor Boiddo watching with us. And they are completely mesmerized.
Thank you. So thank you, Amor Boddo. Amor Boddo, as most of you know, one of the key members of and founders of Radharaman Society. Shujit Chaudhary, one of the key founders of Radharaman Society, were watching. Many thanks. Please share it. And also Sanjoy De, one of the panel member of this process. Many thanks for watching. I would be happy if you could join as well. You are a great admirer. Apart from listening, apart from performing music, you are such a wonderful admirer of great music. Many thanks for all the support. And let's now come back to Ramprapanna. If you kindly play,
Sure.
what would you like to play now? Kafi or?
As you mentioned, I will play a little bit Kafi.
Yep, please. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And maybe then we will discuss a little bit on folk music.
Sure.
Before
Sure.
we
will.
I will just disconnect this earphone so that you can hear it properly.
Please do. Yeah. Java.
I am going to read a few lines from Angela Morgan's poem In Spite of War, because this is exactly how I feel after listening to your sitar playing. In spite of war, in spite of death, in spite of all man's sufferings, something within me laughs and sings, and I must praise with all my breath. In spite of war, in spite of hate, lilacs are blooming at my gate. Tulips are tripping down the path, in spite of war, in spite of wrath. Courage, the morning glory saith. Rejoice, the daisy murmured. And just to live is so divine when pansies lift their eyes to mine. Thank you.
Excellent. Truly beautiful. I was kind of hypnotized by Ramprapanna. What a beautiful playing, really. Such a great pleasure. Thank you so, so much. Greatly placed. Greatly placed.
It would be hard to continue conversation. Whenever you play, so many nostalgic emotions are striking me simultaneously. But perhaps we still have to continue a bit of talk. I do have some questions while you were playing equally while I was listening, I also felt some question to ask.
Sure, sure.
And perhaps our audience would like to know this as well. So when it comes to Indian classical music or raga music, is there any raga based on the pleasure of the mood of pleasure? Because whenever you play, whatever raga it is, somehow it's painting the deeper and profound pain. So why our ragas are so much connected to the pain? Is it because why the great English poet Shelley said, "Our sweetest songs are those that tells of the deepest, the saddest thoughts."
Yes.
Is it because of this, or why anything you play that paints profound, sad, and sober emotion? You feel burst into cries.
Right. I was about to quote what you told about what poet Shelley said. It is true. You see, you listen to any recordings of Ustad Abdul Karim Khan.
Mhm.
They're timeless music, and
True.
his singing always, talks about maybe some melancholic tune,
Mhm.
something sad. But I think there are 9 ras, which is called Nava ras,
Mhm.
there in the art forms.
Mhm.
I think 7 of them are predominant, including Bhakti ras, which is
Mhm.
devotion,
Mhm.
Shringar ras, which is romanticism,
Exactly.
Veer ras, which is vigor, so on and so forth, Hasya ras, Adbhut ras, but we don't want to bring Bibhatsa and Bhayankar ras in music, right? So there are predominant rasas. I think
True.
music should be happy
Exactly.
synthesis of different forms of different rasas, but again it depends on which raga is being played in which environment, what is the mental state of the artist, and what is the mood of the artist, what is his thought process, in which state he is. And you see, if you listen to the compositions, our vocal compositions, particularly in Thumri,
Mhm.
they talk about
Mhm.
uh, the romance between sometimes Radha and Krishna, or some hero, some
Mhm.
mythological heroes and heroines,
Mhm.
and they always there are certain moods when they mingle together, uh,
Mhm.
the milan, and sometimes they are separated, and the composition portrays the feeling of pain of separation. So all
Mhm.
these rasas are predominant in our music, but sometimes one of the rasas become prevailing at some point of time.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, after such beautiful performance, Kasper, you wanted to say something, I think, yeah?
No, yeah, fine.
No.
You just go on, yeah.
No, I would like to, I think that it will be good really reading something from Jibanananda after such a beautiful performance, if you allow me.
Please do, yeah.
Yeah. একদিন পৃথিবীর পথে আমি ফেলিয়াছি, আমার শরীর নরম ঘাসের পথে হাঁটিয়াছে, বসিয়াছে ঘাসে, দেখিয়াছে নক্ষত্রের জোনাকি পোকার মতো কৌতুকের অমেয় আকাশে খেলা করে, নদীর জলের গন্ধে ভরে যায় ভিজে স্নিগ্ধতির অন্ধকারে, পথে পথে শব্দ পাই কাহাদের নরম শাড়ির, স্নান চুল দেখা যায়, সান্ত্বনার কথা নিয়ে কারা আসে, ধূসর কড়ির মতো হাতগুলো, নগ্ন হাত সন্ধ্যার বাতাসে দেখা যায়, হলুদ ঘাসের কাছে মরাহীন প্রজাপতিটির, সুন্দর করুণ পাখা পড়ে আছে, দেখি আমি চুপে থেমে থাকি, আকাশে কমলা রং ফুটে ওঠে সন্ধ্যায়, কাকগুলো নীল মনে হয়, অনেক লোকের ভিড়ে ডুবে যাই কথা কই হাতে হাত রাখি করুণ বিষণ্ণ চুলকার যেন কোথাকার গভীর বিস্ময় লুকায়ে রয়েছে বুঝি নক্ষত্রের নিচে আমি ঘুমাই একাকী বেচার ধূসর ডানা সারা রাত জোনাকির সাথে কথা কয় অনেক ধন্যবাদ সবাইকে
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Before we ask our other panelists to add on, is it possible for Mitul to read any feedback from audiences, or whether we have to notice any noticeable feedback? Yeah.
Omar Boydo has said, wow, what a performance, very exclusive session.
Thank you.
Kamalveer Singh Ji said, really enjoyed listening to Ramprapanna Ji, one of the best sitarists today. Hope you travel to UK soon.
Ramprapanna, are you familiar with Kamalveer Ji? Have you met about Kamalveer Ji?
No, I didn't get chance to meet, but I have heard of him.
You heard of him. He's one of the finest violinists here in UK, based in Sheffield. He performed, and also a wonderful ghazal singer. He performed with Jagjit Ji,
Wow.
and such a wonderful human being as well. Music shapes his character so much. If you look at him, you can get the vibes of a great human being.
The aroma. Yeah.
Many thanks. Those who left wonderful feedback. Anything to add on? Anything to add on from audience?
We have Sharmishta Pandit, beautiful. Madhuchanda Ganguly, wow, so beautiful.
Many thanks. Sharmishta Pandit is part of Radharaman Society's activities, artistic activities. She's a Bharatanatyam dancer. Many thanks for watching, Sharmishta. And many thanks, Madhuchanda Ganguly, for watching. She's a singer as well, as you know.
We have a feedback from Pratap Sharma. Very typical Etawah Gharana bandishes, getting rarer day by day, need to be resurrected gradually.
Exactly. Many thanks, Pratap Sharma. Yeah.
I want to add Pratap Jetu. I call him Jetu. He is a very senior person, and his grandfather was direct disciple of Ustad Inayat Khan Sahab,
Wow.
Jatish Chandra Chaudhary ji, and he has lot of talim from him. Treasure of our Gharana. Yeah, very respected person.
Great. Many thanks, Pratap ji, for watching it. And those who are watching, again, request, please share. That is the only way you can let others have the part of this beautiful spiritual evening. Also, I mean, I asked you already about the question. Rasa is such a great and such a expanded subject that we can't, I mean, we can continue, but night after night, we can carry on. Kishori Amankarji has some wonderful input on rasas. But one thing I would like to ask, and that's what I wanted to ask you before as well. Why, when you listen to Indian classical music, that is perhaps something different than Western classical, why it is always the lamentation of heart, lamentation of soul, instead of having, you won't find any raga that says the dancing mood of heart or something. Always, even if you have any dancing mood, you will see a subtle thread going on with the lamentation of heart that make you cry, that make you tearful. Have you thought about it, or have you got any answer on this?
Yeah, my perception about this particular aspect is, as it is said, Nava Rasa. In different parts of the performance, or it depends on the ragas as well. Like there are certain ragas which depict the happy mood. Like for an example, if I think of the evening ragas, Anandi Kalyan, its name itself is Anandi. So it is all about happiness. Ragas as well. Like there are certain ragas which depict the happy mood. Like for an example, if I think of ragas, Anandi Kalyan. It's all about,
Can you hear me? I think
Yeah, you are audible. You are audible. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So in nutshell, that's what I think Sanjayda also wanted to convey. So it is not like that there is no raga with happy mood. Even any raga with the personality of the artist and his mood and his vision, the color and perspective of the raga can be changed.
True.
Can be changed. And also it depends on how you are treating, how you are dealing with the raga. Maybe in the slower mode it is more somber and more introspective and deep inside, and once you gradually increase the tempo and you go more playful and you go into faster speed which depicts more happiness inside. So it is a journey, I should say. It is not about only sadness or only happiness. It is a journey. It is a collective, it is a kind of a bouquet. You have all the colors in it, but it again depends on the person, which color he loves, which color he has preference on. You preferably listen to that particular kind of music more. But our Indian classical music is synthesis of all kinds of rasa. Just we need to find out the particular piece or a particular raga sentiment, or maybe some artist's depiction. As very interestingly Ustad Vilayat Khan mentioned, when he listened to Ustad Fayaz Khan's Darbari, he always felt like Rajar Chokhir Jal. So when the king is leaving his kingdom, maybe because of old age or before his death, so he is feeling pain inside. So that is at the same time he's feeling pain, and at the same time it is very royal and his personality that is coming into picture. So these are the different depictions. Like Tilak Kamod, I can tell Tilak Kamod is raga which is mostly happy, of happy mood. So there are ragas, but
Thank
mostly,
you.
as you said, yeah.
Many thanks. Many thanks. We have another member of our regular panel, one of the finest Tagore singers here in UK, and founder of 3 wonderful organizations based in London: Neom, Robika, Ravi Bharati, Sri Sanjay Dev joined now. Many thanks for joining.
So I can
Thank
welcome
you,
him with
thank you, Kansar Bhai. Thank you, Ramprapanna. We have spoken through phone once, if you could remember.
Yeah, I was in UK that time.
Yeah, I was outside for very important things I had to do. But while doing that, I was just listening to your sitar all the time. My earphones were there, just listening to your music. And what I was thinking, if I have got the ticket to watch the game, to go to the stadium, why should I watch through television? That's what I felt. This is my stadium. I can watch it live. So
Thank you. Let's see whether Srimati Nandini Chatterjee has anything to add on.
Yes, actually, thank you very much. When Ramprapanna was actually talking about the drawing of depiction of the rasas, the moods of the rags, actually in Indian tradition from the 15th century, there is such a tradition, and its name, it's an artistic tradition of depicting every rag as a particular kind of dramatic scene of the meeting of lovers. And this tradition of painting is known as Ragmala. And we have some really amazing manuscripts from the 15th century onwards. And maybe if we can see it, I can share my screen for 1 second, and I will stop sharing after that, and I can show you such a painting of the Kafi Rag. This one, I think, was produced in Rajasthan. It is a bit, it's not as old as the 15th century, but it's, I think, 18th century. So I can show you for 1 minute what it looks like. Is that okay?
Sure, yeah, please.
Okay, so this one is actually Hindol. And as you see, so I come to Kafi in 1 minute. But this one is Hindol, and because it's Hindol, you see Krishna Radha actually on a swing. And this is the mood of Hindol as well. And then here you have Kafi. And actually, this is a manuscript. And on the left top corner, you see Raag Kafi written. And this is a much more ascetic mood and to relate it with night. And I will stop showing my screen now. But because we talked of this artistic depiction, I thought I would point out that actually our Indian artists already had this idea from the 15th century.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Really, really. Absolutely flawless. Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you very, very
Really.
much. Let's perhaps listen a bit again from your transcendental recital of music, Ramprapanna.
আমি একটু রবীন্দ্রসঙ্গীত একটা বাজাচ্ছি, যেটা আমি মার কাছে শিখেছিলাম প্রথম। বাজিয়ে তারপরে
আমি একটু লোকসঙ্গীত নিয়ে আপনার এক্সপেরিমেন্ট আছে, এবং আমরা একটু দেখতে চাইবো আমাদের অডিয়েন্সের জন্যই how especially Indian vocal music and instrumental music march together and were enriched from one to another. If you kindly
sure.
demonstrate a bit from that.
Sure, will do.
Ramprapanna, the way you played Tomaye Chahire, it was absolutely, it shows that the devotion, the way you are actually, এটা হচ্ছে নিজেকে উৎসর্গ করে দেওয়া. I don't know how to explain, but I was just feeling that one, Tomaye Chahire, especially these two words, যেন দেখা গেল, the colors of the notes, especially.
It is my attempt. Humble
Yeah,
attempt.
couldn't agree more.
Many
Couldn't
thanks.
agree more.
Many thanks for doing this beautiful recital of Tagore. And those who are familiar with this remarkable composition of Tagore, they perhaps most of you know in Bengali, but let me read the English translation of this beautiful composition of Tagore. চোখের আলোয় দেখেছিলাম, with the light of the eyes I saw outside. চোখের আলোয় দেখেছিলাম চোখের বাহিরে, চোখের বাহিরে তো না. With the light of the eyes I saw outside, I shall see within in the absence of the light. When you are not seen, you preside in my heart. I wish to see you in your own light. With you, I played in the playhouse. Thrashed by the storm, the doll was broken. That was indeed a mere play. Now let there be a festival of life with the strings of the veena snapped. My heart will sing. So many thanks for choosing this beautiful composition, Ramprapanna. Anyone would like to add anything? Shumana?
I would like to add one thing. When I was listening to Ramprapanna, and every day we are going through so many depressing news. Whenever we are watching, daily news and coming across with so many depressing news that people are having mental problems and there are so many problems around us. And then I was questioning myself that how come we are all coping so well in this difficult situation? Only one answer. We are all connected to the spiritual world of music. And when I was questioning myself, and my question gone back to my childhood and stopped in front of my mother, who gave me this exposure, from that time onwards, that this enjoying the spiritual world of music became both of our quality time. Nobody can share this, not even my dad. I share this only with my mom. In your case, Ramprapanna, it's your dad, isn't he? So we are all fortunate. One thing in our life we can't choose, that is our parents. Everything we can choose. We are, choose to be friends with something, we choose to do something, we not to choose to do something. Only one thing, parents, we can't choose, we are chosen. So I'm ever thankful to God that I'm born with those parents who gave me this exposure to the spiritual world. That is the reason why we are all coping so well in this difficult situation. And thanks to Kaishar Bhai, thanks to Saudha and Kaishar, you are doing a wonderful job. Salute to you and Saudha.
Many thanks, Ramprapanna. Through your music, through this platform, we all would like to pay our gratitude, immense gratitude to your parents who worked hard to shape you in a way how you are now, and then how you are connecting, engaging, and giving such a great, transcending so many audiences around the world. And not just through presentation, but also through teaching, through writing. This is one of my major areas that I was interested in about you. You write your listening experience, watching experience. Anywhere you go, you write, and you write so well, so musically sound. Your writing is. Many thanks. Let's listen perhaps a bit from audience's feedback. Sorry, anyone would like to add anything?
Yeah, actually, my parents are watching from the other room, so your message is already conveyed to them. Yeah, so that is one thing.
Many
And
thanks. Such a proud parent, such a proud parents.
Thank you, Dada.
Right.
And also,
namaskar to them.
Sure. And my family, including my grandparents in my childhood, and after my marriage, my wife and I have two beautiful daughters. So everyone is very cooperative, and they always spread positive vibes and give me the space for music. They never complain that why you are spending all the time in music. So all these things are helping me.
Thank you. Mithul, if you kindly read from audience's feedback.
Sandeep Sharma, wah wah, kya baat hai, aanand aa gaya. Thakur Harjit Singh, wah Pandit ji. Then we have Debani Ghosh, just অসাধারণ খুব ভালো লাগছে. Kamalveer Singh ji, full of feelings, nazakat, boldness, accuracy, and perfect ragdaris.
Many things. Such a wonderful feedback from such a senior musician. Many thanks, Kamalviji, for watching again. And perhaps we can continue a bit on.
Can I ask
how vocal
Ramprapanna?
music and instrumental music? Yeah, please.
Yeah,
please.
I just want to ask him. So, do you compose, Ramprapanna, music, a bit of like combination of ragas, or according to your mood? Do you compose any pieces?
Yes, Dada, I have tried. I have worked with few projects. One of them, I will tell first commercially. But the number is very few because my main focus is mostly in the classical music and practice and learning, listening, teaching. I worked with Brototi Bandyopadhyay's one project where she recited Joy Goswami's poem Bilayeter Shathe Ekha. So where he depicted his experience with Ustad Vilayat Khan's Darbari Kannada after Joy Goswami's mother passed away. So his feelings that he had written, and Brototi Bandyopadhyay recited and recorded that. And as for commercial, legal reason, they cannot use Ustad Vilayat Khan's recording in the background. Sarot player Pratyush Bandyopadhyay, did the arrangement, and he requested me to play sitar for that background score. So I played for that project.
So that was only Darbari Kannada.
That was Darbari Kannada because the piece was
the
only
mood,
on Darbari
because
Kannada.
of the
mood was
because it has got such a depth, so that's why. But another thing, like if you have got any composition on your own, just like a musical piece, just like we are now watching, like musicians, they do compose according to the mood, to create a mood. It could be the combination of the notes, it could be the combination of the ragas. You can analyze it in a different way, but the separate composition, that's what I would like to know about.
Sure. I have composed few bandishes, if I can call it. Few of them are vocal compositions as well, with the lines, wordings. So I will play a couple of them for you.
Oh, that's brilliant! That's brilliant. And have you written it in Bengali or in Hindi?
In Hindi.
In Hindi, you have composed
because
it.
Most of the Hindustani classical music compositions, vocal compositions, are based on Hindi mostly.
Hindi.
So
absolutely, absolutely.
So I will just try to play and sing it for you.
Oh, that will be nice.
take out this earphone.
बचना में राम तुम सुमिरन करत राम नाम तुम सुमिरन करत राम नाम कर जोड़त शरण मांगता हूँ कर जोड़त शरण मांगता हूँ श्री राम पद पंकज मति प्रभु दीजो श्री राम पद पंकज मति प्रभु दीजो तुम्हारे शरणन में आवत हूँ तुम्हारे शरणन में आवत हूँ तुम सुमिरन करत राम नाम
Wow, wonderful. And do you teach this to your students?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Okay.
You are a
With the
great singer
Taranas.
too, Ramprapanna. You sing so well. You are a great singer too.
Nothing in front of you, Sumanadi. I was just hesitant to sing in front of so many wonderful singers. Yeah.
No, I think instrumentalist always, any instrumentalist always have some connection with singing as well. Unless they know the beauty of singing, it's hard to play.
Like our Kamalveerji, like our
Kamalveerji. True. True. Let us listen a bit from poetry. Jasmine Chaudhry.
Solitude by Ella Wilcox. Laugh and the world laughs with you. Weep and you weep alone. For the sad old earth must borrow its mirth, but has trouble enough of its own. Sing and the hills will answer. Sigh, it is lost on the air. The echoes bound to a joyful sound, but shrink from voicing care. Rejoice, and men will seek you. Grieve, they will turn and go. They want full measure of all your pleasure, but they do not need your all. Be glad and that your friends are many. Be sad as you lose them all. There are none to dine your nectared wine, but alone you must drink life's skull. Feast, the halls are crowded. Fast and the world goes by. Succeed and give and he helps you live, but no man can help you die. There is a room in the halls of pleasure for a long and lordly train, but one by one and lordly train. But one by one we must all file on through the narrow lanes of pain. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jasmine.
Lovely.
Perhaps, yeah, anyone would like to add anything? Anyone wants to add anything before I move on to Ramprapanna with a request?
It is definitely going to be very difficult for us to come back where you have all taken us. You know, Ramprapanna, you have got a sitar. Sitar ta rekhe dile, you are back to the normal world, but we don't have anything. So it will be difficult for us to come back now.
And Nandini Chatterjee would like to add anything before I move on to Ramprapanna with a new question?
Sure. To add to the poetry that Jasmine just recited, I have a couplet which has the same message, I think,
Wow.
but it is maybe slightly more positive, even more positive. So let us see how that goes. And this one is from Omar Khayyam, and as you know, like the very well known 11th, 12th century poet, about whom, by the way, there is a very beautiful novel called Samarkand by one of my favorite novelists, which you may have read, by Malouf. It's very beautiful, but he was not just a poet, he was also a philosopher, he was a mathematician, an astronomer, and many other things. So the two lines are Chun ahde nami shawad kasi fardara, which means since nobody can guarantee what tomorrow will bring, Hali khush kuntu in dile sherdara. Enjoy the moment and let your heart be free. And that's it.
That's we are all doing now.
Beautiful addition. Beautiful addition, Andy.
Thank you.
Very positive, yeah.
Thank you. So my question to Ramprapanna, I have started this already, that always instrumental music learned something from vocal. As you know, Vilayat Khanji and Amir Khanji has done exchanges, and then vocal always tries to be enriched from instrumental. How this process goes on, if you kindly demonstrate or if you say anything on this.
Sure, Dada. Basically, if we see vocal music is the mother of all kind of music, and our vocal cord is the God-gifted instrument, the most natural instrument that we can have. But it is inbuilt instrument, but we have to work on it to be expert. Like the vocalists need to do practice also, just like the instruments, other instruments. And for vocal music is the first form of music, and instruments came much later, particularly for the accompaniment purpose. In Indian classical music also, if you see sarangi or harmonium is always there in a concert, accompanying the main artist who actually sings. In Carnatic music also, you will see there is either violinist who accompanies the main artist melodically. Later, the instrumental music came up as solo, for the solo pieces much later, and it started creating its own identity in the music scene. But still, the ragas, raginis, all those things have been properly exposed first in vocal music, and then it came into instrument. That's why the instrumentalists have always been asked to sing first, then only they can execute their music on their instruments. So Inayat Khan Sahab used to say कि हाड़ी में कुछ रहने से चामच में उठेगा. So if the pot is having biryani in it, then only if you have the spoon in it, then only it will take out some pieces or some rice. So it has to be inside, the music has to be inside, then only you can depict it, you can play it through your instrument. So for that, the most natural process is to listen to other musicians, listen to the singers, listen to the finer nuances of vocal music, which you can finally emulate in your instruments. And in past, it used to be said like Gayan Uttam Badan Madhyam, because the instruments were not that advanced in terms of structure and its capability to express the finest nuances of human emotion, which could be explained through, which could be expressed through voice. Then there were great musicians who were not only musicians but also great research scholars who did the innovation and thought how the shortcomings of the instruments can be overcome, and they did great research and did the modification. For an example, Ustad Vilayat Khan, he changed the dimension of sitar in such a way. The sitar today and sitar 100 years back are totally different. Only the name is same. He removed so many strings, he enhanced, he made the structure so robust so that it can withstand very, gamaks and means, heavy gamaks and means and fast movements. So the vehicle should be proper, to express. So that has been a case. And later, what happened? There are 4 types of instruments, 4 types of instruments mainly. One is blowing instrument, like flute, shehnai, and all. Then bowing instrument like sarangi, violin, which is like their bow is used for producing sound. And tatavadya, ghanavadya, all these are the names, formal names. Then strumming instrument like sitar, sarod, guitar, where the string is strummed and it vibrates for a certain duration, and after that it dies out. Again, to have the sound, you need to strum. So it is very difficult for the instruments, strumming instruments like sitar, sarod, to have the continuous voice that you can produce through sarangi or flute. As long as you will bow, the sound will be there. The sustenance of the sound was not there before in sitar. So a lot of work has been done by great masters to change the dimension, and they worked in terms of execution also. Like sa, it was not possible to do on sitar. This big long mean. So these kind of things were not possible. So later, I will just demonstrate. As the sitar was, not capable of much resonance, previously alap was played in this way. Can you imagine today? No one will listen if someone plays like this. Now, previously this long mean was not possible in sitar.
सुमिरन कर भज राम नाम को जिसमें भला होवे तेरे वंदे सुमिरन कर भज राम नाम को एक दिन वहाँ फिर जाना होगा फिर ना कोई बहाना होगा सोच समझ कर ज्ञान ज्ञान को not only in the alap movements, not only in the melodic phrases, also the kants.
So Ramprapanna, you mean that once upon a time the articulation was mainly on staccato form? There was no mid was not there.
In sitar,
yeah, so sustain,
yes.
yeah.
In sitar, yes, the mean was, it is not absolutely not there. It was very limited, only one notes or two notes. Like in Surbahar and Veena it was possible. Because it was the Surbahar and Veena were meant for the alap music where the long means are possible. In sitar was not in that developed form. Sitar only one note or two notes, max to max 3 notes were possible to pull. So these 5 notes, like now we are covering 5 notes, and sometimes 5.5 notes. And later some techniques have been developed where you can use ghasit and mean. Like if you want to jump from one note to another note across octaves, just like sarangi.
Yes.
Where sarangis glide or fretless instruments glide. Great masters, sitar players, they invented these techniques. Difficult, very difficult also. It is not easy.
It gives lot of emotions. It brings lot of emotions and total mood. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
And
let us
to answer
perhaps
another small thing, as you also asked, the influence of instrumental music on vocal music, it is not that profound and that big, but there are some areas where instrumental music has also influenced the vocal music. Like the way in previous days, the way Veena were played in Drupad. So those, like if you see Dagar family, they have Veena players and singers both. So they influenced each other. The way of sometimes we listen to some musicians, some singers, it sounds like their voice is as fine as Veena.
Yeah, even in Karnataki Sangeet, I have I came to know about so many ustads. They are like, they can play the Veena and along with that they sing. So that they say that if you sing, then you can play the Veena quite well. You can repeat it in a right way. So yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Yeah.
And there is another aspect of Drut bandishes, Drut compositions. I can give you an instance. Ustad Imdad Khan Sahab, grandfather of Ustad Vilayat Khan, the way he used to execute the Drut compositions, Ustad Nisar Hussain Khan Sahab, who was a great vocalist from Sahaswan Gharana, Rampur Sahaswan Gharana. I think grandfather of Ustad Rashid Khan. Ustad Nisar Hussain Khan listened to Ustad Imdad Khan a lot in his childhood, and the way he used to sing Tarana, he had a lot of influence of Ustad Imdad Khan's playing that he himself, has said somewhere. So I will give a small.
Please do.
Yeah. So this was a portion of Tarana sung by Ustad Nisar Hussain Khan Sahab. You can clearly see the influence of Ustad Imdad Khan Sahab's playing in his Tarana. So I don't remember the entire composition of the Tarana, but these things were exchanged between instrumental music and vocal music.
True. Did you have to learn vocal music as part of your learning sitar?
Not formally, but since my childhood, my father always encouraged me to listen to vocal music. Initial days, I did not understand. I used to like sitar and instrumental music more. That used to appeal me much. But gradually, you grew up and had experience and maturity. Then I started listening to great vocalists as well.
True. Let us listen. Let us have some feedback from audiences now, and then we'll move on to the next part of discussion and performance.
Yeah, most probably this is Ramprapannaji's father, Ram Udar Bhattacharya. He said, "Our namaskar to all."
Namaskar to.
Thank you. Namaskar to you as well.
Then watching with us, film journalist and author Rajesh Rajendra Gaur, who is the son of film writer late Rajendra Gaur. And he said, Namaste, stay safe, stay protected. God bless us all.
Many thanks. Same wishes to you as well. And many thanks for watching.
Then watching with us is Abra Bhaumik. He said, we are proud of Ramprapanna.
Many thanks, Abra Bhaumik, for watching. Abra Bhaumik is a friend of us, disciple of Pandit Ajay Chakraborty ji, and also a concert organizer. Many thanks for watching.
Thank you, Abroda.
Then we have Dipanjan Banerjee, Kya Baat Ramprapanna Bhattacharya.
Wow, many thanks,
Dipanjan. He's my friend. Yeah.
Oh, many thanks. One thing you all need to do, actually, who are watching, I'm repeating again, please do share. It's not for us, it's for rest of the others. This is the aim of this concert series, to reach as many audiences as possible and just to give them a bit of ventilation, bit of redemption, bit of solace with music. So please do share who are watching and let others have the opportunity to be immersed in such a spiritual and transcendental music as we all are. So before I move on to the next question or next part, would anyone like to add anything? Shumara, perhaps you wanting to say something? Yeah.
I'm waiting for Ramprapanna's workshop, I will be the first person to enroll.
Oh my God.
Right.
As a singer, I'm enjoying, the way you are explaining, beautifully explain Ramprapanna. So please let us know, when you are having your next workshop.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to have you, Ramprapanna. Perhaps you came to Manchester. You were supposed to come to Manchester sometime last year. And then I'm not sure whether you managed to come, but when you are, perhaps in the next year, we'd like to see you as part of Saudha's regular concerts and listen to you live on the stage.
It will be my privilege.
And hopefully this lockdown will be over soon, and we will together we will overcome this unexpected, unprecedented situation that whole mankind is experiencing now. So the next thing, Nandini, would like to add anything?
No, I don't have any particular poetry to add, but I really wanted to say I greatly enjoyed listening about the structure of the instruments because I have a very funny personal anecdote. My son learns the violin, he's in the beginning stages. So he's constantly breaking the G string. And I'm not exactly sure why, but there's something about the way he is playing, but he is also claiming that the compositions are so that the G string is stressed and so it gets broken. Obviously he's a child and he's doing it wrong also, but so that related in my mind now to what you were saying about the structure of the evolved structure of the sitar. So it seemed to me when you said that it can take very strong mirs, that means could you explain a little bit more for like lay people? Does that mean very long legatos? That means you need the strings are very strong. Is that what it means? I mean, I would really benefit from that discussion.
Yeah, sure. You see, the strings are tied in two ends. This is one end, which is different from each string. These are the pegs. In Bangla, we call it kan. So these are the pegs, and at this end, you can see here all these strings are merging, and these are tied at this end, and this is passing through a bridge. This bridge is pretty common in all the string instruments, and the sound of the instrument highly differs based on the quality of this bridge material and the surface, the smoothness and particular inclination. There are a lot of factors which actually controls the sound. And as you see, the strings are passing, the strings are having certain amount of pressure and strength. So by that, it cuts it. Gradually, it cuts the surface of this, and we have to remove all the strings and smoothen it with certain, a device, sandpaper and files to make it smooth and with certain inclination, and then again it comes back. Now, in past, the thickness of string was different, was thinner. There are different strings, and we play mostly on one or two strings, right, which is called main string, and the thickness was different. It was much thinner before, and to withstand the long pulling, you see how much I am pulling. You can see this is the fret, and I am pulling through the actual curvature. I will put the light a little bit here. So I am playing in two ways. One, it is staccato note based on the frets. It will sound very distinct. But if I only play on fret, you will not get the gaikiyang. You will not get the vocal style. It will be jumping, like jumping from one note to another. It will not be gliding. This gliding is the soul of Indian classical music, the mean. That gives the feeling. That gives the rasa. So the string should be able to, and the instrument should be able to withstand this kind of pulling, and it requires a lot of strength in hand also, which comes with practice, and the person has also to be very strong. Very weak person cannot play sitar. Physically weak person will not be able to.
That shows you are
like this to me, and I'm hoping that the audience will also appreciate, because there must be lay people like me. And when you pulled the mir, it also seemed to me to answer a question that Kaisar Bhai was asking repeatedly in the beginning, which is like, why does Indian classical music have a plaintive note, which is different from that the mood is always sad, but it seemed to me as you were pulling in the mir, it was like a pleading almost, and the more you pull, the more of a pleading. It's as if please, please, please. There's a long kind of feeling in that. That to me sounded like
Exactly.
Absolutely. Spot on.
Submission,
Right.
supreme submission, supreme
Yeah,
submission.
the
Yeah.
gliding between one note to another is the soul of Indian classical music. The mean is the soul of Indian classical music, which gives the birth of the emotional aspects, the rasa. If you
True.
jump from one note to another note, it will not come. You take any form of music which has been derived from Indian classical music or folk music, take Tagore song, take Nazrul Giti, take whatever we have in our Bengal or in other states.
Let
Related to
us
vocal music, it's gaiki,
yeah.
isn't it? It's gaiki. You can differentiate two singers, with their gaiki. That touches your soul.
Yeah.
So in any instrument, it's mead and all those things.
Yes.
We've learned so many things today.
Oh my.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And I'm sure audiences are
But
equally.
I would like to ask Ramprapanna,
Sure.
how frequent would you use the chikari, or it is a mandatory to use chikari very frequently in some ragas or something like that?
Very interesting and technical question. It as there is a limitation of this strumming instrument, as I explained, unlike the blowing or bowing instrument where the sound cannot be sustained that long, the sound of one strum will die at some point of time. Even with the highest, highly developed sitar, like then there is a gap. Again, so there is a gap. To fill this gap, we play chikari.
Okay.
We play chikari.
And
this is more fulfilling.
Yes, and it depends on the artist how he feels or how frequently he would like to use.
I will tell you that about that. For the vocalists, when the vocalists are singing, when there is a breathing space, because he or she cannot sing without break. There is a breathing time, and that time the tanpuras are being played. That is filling up the gap, the silence. It is not total silence. Or sometimes they ask their students to okay, sa lagao, beta. So they also start singing, just filling up the gaps, and again he joins or she joins. But for sitar players chikari and jod string, this is called jod string, the bass string. This combination helps to fill this particular gap. And this depends from the artist to artist, and even for the same artist, rag to rag, because there are certain ragas which are of very pensive mood, like Malkons, Darbari, or if you take Bageshri, or in the morning if you take Bhairav, which are very shant, gambhir prakriti.
Right. Like in Yemen, you have got plenty of options to use the chikari.
Yemen, you can choose whether you want to play slow alap. We call it alap ka bhi different.
Yeah.
It is not beat based tempo, but it has indiscernible lay. Alap is also having indiscernible lay. The
yes,
like same phrase, ne re ga re da ne ra na. Same thing I can sing. Re 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 na re re ji. So the pace differs. Sometimes it is chanchal, sometimes. So it depends in which mood and which pace you are playing the alap. The chikari will come in that interval.
Right. Well clarified. Wonderful clarification. I got my answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mithul, would like to add anything from audiences before I go for the performance?
Yes, Shabana Dagar said this type of information is so important for the next generation. What I
Many
think.
thanks. Many thanks for watching. Please share and let others
Dada,
have
I
the
want
opportunity to learn.
I will add about Shabana ji. She is the daughter of great Ustad Imamuddin Khan Dagar Drupadiya.
Wow, wow. Our respect and love and gratitude to you. Wow.
He is
Great.
from Dagar family, revered Dagar family of Drupad.
Thank you. I know. And Dagar family has such a great contribution to Drupad.
Yeah.
Many thanks for watching, Shabanaji.
And then we have Shanjukta Mitra, Ramprapanna. When you are next in the UK, we would love to arrange some more musical endeavors with you in Shurbahar, UK. Your participation in our inaugural concert in Cambridge still remains in our good memories.
Many thanks, Shanjukta Mitra. Yeah.
She is a fantastic singer herself and a disciple of Pandit Shantanu Bandyopadhyay, son and disciple of Amir Ranjan Bandyopadhyay. Yeah. Thank you.
Debashish Guhanioji, apology if I'm not pronouncing your surname correctly. He is not only one of the finest performer, but also a resourceful teacher. His classes are absolute delight.
That's what he learned. That's what he learned now. That's what he learned now. Exactly. Many thanks. Spot on. Spot on.
We have Prabhomik. He said, I'm eager to initiate his workshop and recital program with support from Saudha.
Yeah, sure. We'll do together in Leeds. Many thanks, Prabhomik, for watching and saying this. Yes, next year. We look forward for the next year. So let's listen
and
a
one
bit
more
from
to add, Kasar bhai. Sorry to add one more thing. It's a privilege that Mahbub Nadim, wonderful sitarist, is watching as well.
Many thanks, Mahbubji.
Salam, adab.
Is exactly. Mahbubji is one of the finest sitarists here in UK, and also a wonderful ghazal singer. Many thanks for watching. Love, respect, and gratitude to you. I'm sure perhaps you are managing, you are doing social isolation and self-distancing, social distancing and self-isolation, and hope for the best. Would like to see you soon again. And please stay safe and stay at home, Mahbubji. Many thanks. Our next question is to Ramprapanna. Could you, because you explored music from different spectrum, from folk music also has influenced you, and then you try to enrich your music from the flow of folk music, from the treasure of folk music. Would it be possible to play something from your own approach to folk music?
Sure. But before going there, I would just like to add a couple of things regarding the viewers' comment. Debashish Guhnyogi, his daughter Riti used to learn from me. I used to teach her sitar. He's a very good friend of mine, though senior to me, but very good friend of mine. And Mehboob Bhai is my Guru Bandhu. We both learned from Pandit Arvind Parikh, and he belongs to the revered Agra Gharana of Kheyal, which produced great singers like Ustad Fayaz Khan, Ustad Vilayat Hussain Khan Sahab, Azmat Hussain Khan Sahab, and who not, Khadim Hussain Khan Sahab, Rafat Hussain Khan Sahab. A lot of great ustads, from his family. Yeah, so folk music. I think the great musicians, instrumentalists like Ustad Vilayat Khan, Pandit Nikhil Banerjee, Ustad Amjad Ali Khan, they already explored a lot of folk music from different corners of our country. I also tried. I will play a few tunes from Bengal first, and then probably we'll move it to some other states also, if time permits.
Please do. Please do.
need to mention name of Ustad Rais Khan as well. So he gathered a lot of folk music from outside India also. He used to play a beautiful Afghani dhun, which is nothing but Afghani folk. আমার বাড়ি আইসো মাঝি বসতে দেবো তীরা মাঝি বসতে দেবো তীরা খেতে দেবো তোমায়
I have learned so much from God that I can no longer call myself a Christian, a Hindu, a Muslim, a Buddhist, a Jew. The truth has shared so much of itself with me that I can no longer call myself a man, a woman, an angel, or even a pure soul. Love has befriended Hafiz so completely, it has turned to ash and freed me of every concept and image my mind has ever known. Thank you.
How beautiful, how beautifully you amalgamated many tunes of folk. I'm missing Shourab Moni now. Shourab Moni could,
Yes,
if
yes,
Shourab
yes.
would be here, perhaps I would ask him to add something on this.
On
So
folk, yeah.
beautifully you, exactly. So,
And
so
also,
beautifully
and also, yes.
you fused, you merged, I mean, a wide spectrum of folk music into one composition. You switched into
Including
one from
Tagore. I
another
think
so eloquently.
Tagore was there as well.
Yes.
Ramprapanna?
Yes,
if I'm
yes,
not
Dada.
wrong.
True.
Yes, Dada.
Tagore
This
was
is
there.
Yeah.
this is Begum
Amare
of
Padai
yeah,
Padai, Kepiye Badai,
exactly.
Amare Kini Bhi Bhai. You know? Yeah, yeah. Wonderful.
Basically, the second one was Bhenge Mor Ghorer Chabi, which
Bhege Mor Ghar Chabi.
which was popularized by Vilayat Khan Sahab on Sitar. He used to play it a lot. Whenever he used to play in Calcutta, he used to have the farmaish from the audience to play that.
Can I add something here?
Please, please do.
You were mentioning about your very strong vehicle where you can give all those mirrors, and you got to have a very strong vehicle. So you have given us a tour of the world in your strong vehicle and parked your car in Bengal, where all our heart belongs.
Exactly. You connected Bengal so beautifully with
yes. We were all the passengers of your very strong vehicle. But Bangla এসে মনে হলো that পৃথিবীটা মানে বাংলাতেই আছে, আমাদের পৃথিবী বাংলাতেই আছে. Our heart lies here.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
একদম সত্যি কথা.
Jasmine, would like to add anything?
I was just thinking, Kaiser Bhai, how fortunate we are. I'm feeling very fortunate just to be here and to have this extraordinary experience. And I think, as Shumanadi, everybody else has mentioned, music, has no boundaries. So we cut across a lot of boundaries. And I think in the history of kind of human civilization, we've seen time and time again how people have turned to music and poetry at the times of great distress. And as we go through this really difficult period, I think it's such a privilege to have people like Ramprapanna ji with us. And I think this is what will help us to connect. I think sitar is an instrument where we've seen Ravi Shankar ji connect with world leaders, right to sort of and we're seeing it now, I think, with this kind of music, how you can connect to right from politicians to social activists to our key workers within the NHS, social workers, carers. They talk about how they connect through music and keep find the strength and courage to fight this war. So it's a special experience, and thank you so much for joining us.
Many thanks, Jasmine. Nandini would like to add anything after this beautiful connection with Bengal through folk music?
Actually, I want to add my thanks once again for the beautiful exposition of the instrument that Ramprapanna ji gave. Like I'm so glad it is recorded, because I will show it to my son, I will show it to my students and all those people who, like me, do have no specialist knowledge. So thank you so much. But I actually thought of something when we were talking of both openness and our rootedness, and Shimona ji said about how our heart is in Bengal. If I had the singing voice, then the song I would sing is from Gopika and Baghabain. It's a beautiful song actually, because there was a lot of classical music. If you remember, Maharaja Tomare Salam Amra Bangladesher Theke Elam. I was wondering if of the three singers among you, like if one of you could like maybe sing this song.
But it was like, Maharaja Tomare Salam, 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 Mora Bangladesher Theke Elam.
Wow.
Shattu Itrai's composition.
I'm very sorry to impose, but actually there are two more lines. actually describe the language. এতো সুরেরই ভাষা, ছন্দেরই ভাষা, গানেরই ভাষা, আনন্দেরই ভাষা। ভাষা এমন কথা বলে বোঝে যে সকলে, উঁচা নিচা রাজা, ছোট বড় সমান, রাজা তোমারে সালাম. I want to remember the tune, but it's a very beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you very much. Would Mitul add something from audience's feedback?
Yes. Chakraborty Mukherjee Sangjukta, aha darun.
Please, thank you for watching.
Ranuraj K. Gupta, really impressed with your demonstration, Ram. God bless. Then,
thank you.
Kazi Jawad, bah, khub bhalo laglo.
Jawad Bhai, many thanks for watching. Jawad Bhai is part of a wonderful friend of us, part of this process, a BBC journalist. Many thanks for watching.
Sangjukta Chakraborty is my cousin-in-law, kind of sister-in-law, I can say. Yeah.
Oh, many thanks.
Ranuraj is my friend, college friend.
Wow.
Then we have Shormi Ganguly, Shochin Korta, too good.
Wow, yeah. You played something from Shochin Korta as well when you merged your folk music. Many thanks. So let us move on to the next phase. We are moving towards the end. Before you play Bhairavi as your last performance, as we talked before, could you share a bit of your experience of learning from Arvind Parikh?
Sure. But Arvind Parikh, he is not only the senior most disciple of the legendary Sitar maestro Ustad Vilayat Khan, but he is also a repository of knowledge, wisdom, and analytical. He's having a great analytical mind. So I have been benefited with his vast musical knowledge, his collection of rare bandishes, and his insights of intricacies of raga music. What is the difference between ragas which reside in the closed contour, and what are the nuances, how they can be differentiated. Very rare and authentic instrumental bandishes which he learned from Ustad Vilayat Khan, and also he collected from many other instrumentalists and vocalists as well. Great singers like Ustad Niaz Ahmed Khan and Fayaz Ahmed Khan were teachers of his wife and his daughter. So he is much influenced with the vocal music of Gharana. So I got insight on that also. And lot of compositions which Khan Sahab composed in his early days, particularly from early 40s to early 60s. These are very rare. Very few people know the compositions which Ustad Vilayat Khan composed during that period, that 20 years, initial phase of his career. So I have been directly benefited with all these aspects of music. And I'm much thankful to him for that. Kashal bhai, I think you are on mute.
Sorry. Yeah. If any of our panel members would like to anything else before we move on to the next performance and the last performance. So we would like to end up this session, this beautiful, spiritually connecting session with Raag Bhairavi. But if any of our panel members would like to anything before we finish.
Actually, it is not only, we are not only listening to the sitar, to the ragas, it's also all about the discussions and how you feel about the ragas and about the music. And we are spreading this to all of the viewers, those who are listening to this one. And I think that all of these persons, I mean, those who are like, they don't have the idea about music, and those who have a little bit of idea about music, all will be benefited for this session. So thanks to Ramprapanna and thanks to Saudha for this platform. It's wonderful. That's all I had to add.
Thank you. Thank you. What Nandita Chatterjee wrote, actually, that is something that I feel same. This is a great tradition about that you're participating in here and sharing with others. Exactly, it is. Would like to add anything in the end?
Yeah, can I add something?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, I think today's session, as usual, is an escape from all the distress and pain of the current crisis. And Ramprapannaji, your music simply took me, and I think all of us, to another world. And it's as if I could see a story in your music. So thank you so much for that.
Many thanks, Shumana. Shumana would like to add anything?
As I mentioned before, Barite Bosheo, staying at home, we had a tour of the world, with your music, Ramprapanna. So I'm absolutely honored to be here and to listening to your music like this. Absolutely honored. Thank you,
Thank you so
Kaishab.
much. All pleasure is mine, and thanks to Dada Kashif Bhai for organizing this and taking this initiative. Thank you very much.
Many thanks. Please stay with Saudha. Please support when it is needed. And I know that you were a firm supporter of Saudha, firm follower of Saudha. That's what you said. For us to take this music, bring this music into the world stage, and lead the world stage like all of our preteriors, all of our great maestros did before. We need the input from all talented musicians, highly talented performers, intellectuals, writers. So please do support when it is needed. And audiences who are watching it, please come to our live performances when the lockdown is over. We will start doing live performances, obviously classical music, in different with different experiments, as you know. Saudha's platform is for both emerging and world-class musicians, maestros, and also the platform for experiments. Like we told you before, the one experiment which is coming in September, which is supposed to happen in March, interpretation of Frida Kahlo through Indian classical music. Frida Kahlo's painting has been interpreted through the melancholic ragas. So please come. It is happening perhaps in early March if the lockdown is over. So let's listen to Ramprapanna, and many thanks. I can see Tauhid Chaudhary, one of the firm supporter of Saudha's activities, are watching. Omar Boddo, Shuji Chaudhary, Shamim Shahan, a poet and the editor of Granthi, who are watching it. Many, many thanks. And let's listen to the last performance, unless anyone would like to add anything. Nandini Chatterjee would like to add anything?
Nothing but thank you.
Welcome. Welcome. Cheers.
Okay, I will start, Bhairavi.
Thank you. Ramprapanna, actually, you painted a surrealistic tapestry of human soul. You expressed something which is unexpressible through this Bhairavi, and I'm finding no word to express how I'm feeling now with this beautiful spiritual Bhairavi that you just recited now. It's hard to talk after this music. Those who are watching, you perhaps know, we are trying to bring some wonderful musicians like Ramprapanna who are appearing to the global scene as maestro of next generation. So please stay with us, please spread the words, and please follow the page of Saudha. And part of this platform, there are many musicians from all around the globe are participating very soon, almost every day. So please stay tuned. And it's very hard to express how I'm feeling. Like I told you before, it's almost like someone is wailing inside me, perhaps another form of my entity. I find no words, like I told you before. And then
we were all submerged into this.
Exactly. So
Absolutely, yeah.
Let us finish without adding any more words. Let us finish with I'm coming up with some beautiful verses by Farooq Ahmed, a Bengali poet. After this rendition of Bhairavi, বন্দরে বসে যাত্রীরা দিন গনে বুঝি কুয়াশায় জোছনা মায়ায় জাহাজের পাল দেখে পেরেশান মুসাফির দল দরিয়া কিনারে জাগে তকদিরে নিরাশার ছবি এঁকে পথ হারাই দরিয়া সোঁতায় ঘুরে চলেছি কোথায় কোন সীমাহীন দূরে তুমি মাস্তুলে আমি দাঁড় টানি ভুলে সম্মুখে শুধু অসীম কুয়াশা হেরি. So ladies and gentlemen, let us be immersed into the profound silence that Ramprapanna just has created with this beautiful music. See you soon again. Stay well, stay at home. Many, many thanks.